just outside Atlanta a few days ago and hung around the Winder, Georgia area because I thought that's where my backhaul would come out of, and had something set up there. That didn't materialize, so it's Sunday now, and the guys that I work for, or pull for, are relocating me down to Pensacola, Florida for the backhaul, which is okay with me. I like Florida, and the last time I went down through to Pensacola, I went through Mobile. It was a little out of my way, but I didn't know the back road down off of 59 down into Pensacola. So I went into Mobile and caught I-10 and ran back east. And the bonus part of that trip was that I got to see the USS Alabama. It's moored there on display right beside the interstate. The downside of that was that I had to go right on by and not to get to go in and see it. I like anything like that. The US Alabama is an awesome, huge looking battleship, and it's hard to imagine, you know, if they've retired something like that. You can't even imagine what they've got out there on the high seas today for equipment. So just an amazing looking ship anyway, huge. So with any luck at all, I'll get a little time off down here, down in Pensacola, and I'll have a chance to cut back through Mobile and see that ship, because it sure looked awesome from the interstate, and it's on my to-do list. Now I like hanging around down here for a few days when the weather's cold in Canada. The weather's nice down here in the States. It was 75 degrees the whole time I was in Winder. I don't mind sitting out and camping there for a few days. The first day I got down there, I wasn't feeling very well, so I was able to stay off my feet and kind of recuperate. And the next day or two, I just kind of puttered around and went Walmarting. I bought the new John Grisham book, Sycamore Row, excellent legal thriller. So I was able to finish that with my layover, and I got a little polishing and cleaning done on the truck. I always like to do that when I'm somewhere in the nice weather, because you don't get to do that when you're over in Canada. So I got the truck cleaned up a little bit, looks pretty good. Finished this excellent book, and generally got a little fresh air. Only had to wear a t-shirt, so I'm right into that this time of year. So it was a good layover, and luckily for me, it's one of those things that the company that I work for pays for that type of thing. They pay me to sit down there and wait on the backhaul, because they've been told that that's where it's going to be. And so the load never did materialize, but I'll get paid for that sitting time. That's very important, especially these days, to find a company that's willing to do that, just not let you sit here and sit there and sit here for no money at all. Because time is money, money is time. When you come to work, you come to work to work. You come to work to make money. There's no point being at work and being here for free. So if you're going to sit, you're still at work, you should get paid. And these guys are good for that, and that's one of the reasons I'm here. That's one of the biggest reasons I'm here. It's hard to find outfits like that. There's a driver shortage. Hunt them out. They'll take you. Anyway, that's what we're up to. I just negotiated my way through the traffic in Atlanta. There's always traffic in Atlanta. And I was on the ring road there, 285, because I came out of Macon, which is a little east of Atlanta. Well, I've been in this morning to Pensacola, Florida. Gone in, loaded, and I'm back out in Alabama now. I went down Highway 29 down into Pensacola off I-65, and I hadn't been that way before, but that's a nice clean route, so I'd recommend that to anybody. And you know, one of the nicest things that can happen to make your day is getting into a customer that the customer is pleasant, agreeable, they're just nice all the way around people. And that's the way it was for me today. I went to Reichhold in Pensacola, Florida. Man, I wish I could go there all the time. Those people are great. And that just, you know, it just makes your day so much easier when you're dealing with people like that. So it's too bad all customers weren't that nice, but those are excellent people. So if you ever get a chance to pick up or deliver in there in Pensacola, do it, because those are great guys in there. Coming back up I-65 here, the sun's up now, and I'm on my way north. And I sure am noticing a lot of that, the texting weave. And I guess it's because I-65 down here at the bottom of Alabama is fairly straight and fairly level, and you can just tell who's texting, because the car will travel over to this shoulder, and then it'll slowly correct, and then it'll travel over to the white line and slowly correct, and they're just doing the weave all the way down the road. And there's an awful lot of it going on I-65 in Alabama here, and it's not all four-wheelers either, unfortunately. I've caught a couple of trucks doing it too, so you know, I know it gets boring, and I know texting is the hot new thing, but man, just stay away from that. It takes one split second for something to go wrong, and if you're distracted, you can't react fast enough. It's just a bad habit to get into. You've got to be paying attention when you're driving, no matter what it is, car, truck, whatever it is. Concentrate on your driving. This texting problem, I honestly don't know how they're going to correct it, but it's huge already. And law enforcement, you know, they can only do so much. They can only catch so many. I'm pretty sure it's hard to catch. It's, you know, when you're up here and you've got a vantage point like I do, you can pretty much see into the cars who's texting and who's not. But the police don't have that advantage. They're at the same height as the rest of the four-wheelers. So I'm sure, like, they can tell from the weaving that I just described that some people are doing it and can pull them over and check the phones, I guess, or however they do it. But it's a huge problem, and I don't know whether the answer is to have the electronics manufacturers make these phones now so they can't work when the phone's in motion. I know they have the technology to be able to do that. Well, even here in the truck, the PeopleNet system I have is sensitive to motion, so it won't let you read an email or type or anything like that at all when the truck is moving at all. So if they can incorporate that same technology into the iPhones and the Samsungs and that type of thing. And I'm afraid that I have to say that I think they should do it. And I know there are going to be exceptions. Well, what if he's driving and she's in the passenger seat texting? You can't control it. You can't always trust people to do the smart thing and the safe thing. So sadly, I think that it should just be built into the phones that they can't operate while they're in motion. But that's just my opinion anyway. Well, it's 85 degrees here. I'm in Tyson, Alabama at the Flying J. I've got to take my mandatory half-hour break. I'm going to get a slice of pizza and a coffee and figure out what route I'm going to use to go home here. I haven't quite decided. There's a couple ways to go, so I'm going to get out the atlas and figure out which route I think looks more attractive. Well, the route that I selected for my way home, what I've done is I've come up I-65 through Montgomery, Alabama, just outside of Birmingham, Alabama, looped around Birmingham and caught I-59, which will run me over to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'll grab I-75 in Chattanooga to the north on I-75. But for the night, my electronic clock is going to put me out of hours here, but So we're going to land there for the night and check that Petro out. I pride myself in having been in just about every Petro that there is, but I've never been in this one before. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, and it's part of the reason I went this way, just so I could see this Petro, because I haven't been to this one yet. Coming into Gadsden. Oh, there's the truck stop on the right. Lots of trees. It's kind of a pretty spot. This might be just fine. Too early to get a parking spot here. They're lined up. They look fairly full already. Now we'll throw on some fuel and go hunting for a spot here. I don't even mind paying for a spot at one of these Petros or TAs, because for 10 bucks or whatever they are, at least it's a safe place. So your safety is worth 10 bucks for a night. By the way, one of the things I have liked this trip was the fact that the price of diesel is falling, and that impacts our bottom line in a positive manner. So I sure do like to see the price of the diesel fuel coming down, and it seems to be on a trend that way. So let's hope that continues. Just had an aggravating situation here that I figured out. On these electronic logs coming up towards Cincinnati. I may be half hour south of Cincinnati. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I would have liked to have gotten through Cincinnati before the rush hour starts, probably about 3 o'clock or so. But my electronic log is telling me that I need to do a half-hour break. So now I'll slide into Walton, Kentucky and sit there for a half hour because I have to. And the traffic will accumulate in Cincinnati while I sit there in the truck stop. By the time I do my half-hour break, the traffic will be that much worse. It will put me in an area of greater jeopardy because of the higher volume of traffic had I gone through earlier. So it's not all about safety, because the system doesn't allow you to circumvent the rules for a situation like that. And that's one of the problems with the electronic logs. You're not allowed to think for yourself on these things. You have to run everything by the clock. And all sorts of times, you know that you run out of hours, for instance, in the evening, before you get to a major city, and then you're back active on the clock just in time for morning rush hour. But in the old days, you would have gotten through the town at night and then gone to bed on the other side, so you didn't have to fight rush hour in the morning. And that happens all the time these days with the electronic logs. I think there needs to be some leeway, and some of the discretion and some of the powers of judgment need to be left in the hands of the drivers, the people that have to do the work. I know myself, for instance, that it's safer to pass through a high-volume city like Cincinnati when it's not rush hour. Some of those decisions should be left to us. sat for that half hour in Walton, my mandatory half-hour break, and I'm not even into Cincinnati yet. I'm not even into Ohio. The traffic's backing up going across the river. But I thought I'd film this anyway, for those of you that like the sound of my jake brake, because I'll be jaking all the way down this hill towards the river. I got a good load on. It's a fairly steep little hill, so you'll hear the jake all the way down. You'll also get to see the traffic I've now been caught in, that I'm sure I could have avoided a large percentage of it had I gone through here earlier, but they don't let the truck drivers make the rules. It's the people behind the desks that make the rules. Because of the traffic I've been caught in, this will also jeopardize my trip planning, because I'll be running out of hours again sitting here in traffic instead of moving. So I may not even make it to North Baltimore, Ohio before I run out of hours. That's really annoying. You know, according to the electronic log, what are you supposed to do? Just, I can stop early someplace, I guess, find someplace, or run as far as I can and then sit in a rest area, and that's annoying for 10 hours. We'll have to see how it plays out. You should be allowed to run to a safe haven in a situation like that. You should give me, if I'm going to be 20 minutes shy of North Baltimore, they shouldn't even think about that. They should just grant you the 20 minutes and say, yep, get to a good, clean, safe, comfortable spot for the night. But no, it's legal to sit on an off-ramp for 10 hours. And they don't care about your safety or your comfort, as long as you haven't gone over the hours of service, and that's stupid. No common sense anymore, no common sense. Downtown Cincinnati, as we're coming to the river. You can see the sports stadium, certainly. It's another beautiful day. I've delivered my load that I picked up in Florida, delivered that, and I'm on my way into Toronto. Called the dispatcher, well, sent him an email on my PeopleNet telling him that I'd like another load, but he indicated to me that they were fairly quiet right now. So I imagine that I'm heading home to rake leaves for a couple of days, which I sorely need to do anyway, so either way, that's fine. Trucking is the kind of thing you've got to make hay while the sun shines, because you never know when the freight's going to go slow on you. So I always try to make myself available as much as possible, and that way, when you do want time off, you've got enough in the bank that you're not sweating bullets, and you can take the time off. This I haven't found this to be an overly busy year for freight. In fact, I found the summer kind of quiet, so I'm hoping to rack in some serious miles before Christmas, but well, so far it's not going that way. But we'll keep making ourselves available, and hopefully the loads will keep coming. I stopped into the yard and did some paperwork and talked to dispatch. They don't see anything really going out of there today, so I'm going to take the opportunity to slide home, do some paperwork at home, and rake some leaves, see my family. I got to clean the inside of the truck because I do that after every trip, and it certainly needs it, but no, I'm going to head home and have a day or two off and let them get reorganized down there. And Friday's always a good day for outbound loads, so I've got my name on their list for Friday, and we'll see what happens.